from a galaxy far, far away.
And a bookshelf straight out of the 90s.
From Thrawn to Dantooine.
And everything in between. This is Legends Look Back.
It is time for Legends Look Back. We are here. We are ready. Doing the show. Saying the things. Punching the buttons. All that good stuff. And, in order to start the show here tonight, I had to forcibly kick the cat out of my chair.
What?
Because,
I
didn't.
Your cat?
No, it's like a metaphor.
Like a Spartan kick, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Because you got stairs right at your door.
I picked up my office chair. She likes to sleep in this thing. Okay. And I picked it up, and I turned it like a good 45 degrees at an angle to dump her out of it. You know what she did? Mm-hmm. She looked at me, stuck her claws into it, and hung there like she was going to dangle off the edge of the cliff like in Indiana Jones or something. Anyway, she's out of here, and we're now here ready to do the show. But you know what's crazy is the fact that both Rick and I got new puppies like within a week of each other. Also, Emma also got a new puppy. Shout out to Emma, who's been on the show quite a number of times. And so here tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the pets behind the scenes at Legends Look Back. I've heard, some allusions to the pets behind the scenes. What's y'all's? I know Rick's got the Dalmatians thing, right? Show off the pets. We got some pics, right?
Yeah. Here, Jared's pets.
That one makes my feet look awkwardly big. But what's amazing is all three animals are looking at the camera. We got Bilbo, the Bagel Hound. We got Kyle, the puppy, the golden retriever, and then Marigold, the cat, sitting next to me. She was very upset that I was trying to get her to pose for a picture near the puppy. She was like, "Bro, do you have a death wish? Because I cannot be that close to him."
And Jared, the Hobbit, with the big hairy feet.
It cracks me up how much other animals just really don't like puppies. Like, it takes a very special animal to be patient with a puppy.
How about y'all? You got your pets?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see.
I've got a better picture than that, by the way. Just the cat's not in it.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's Jared's better picture.
Remarkably good picture for a spur of the moment idea.
It almost sounded like a
cute.
dog when he said.
You should see how tight I'm holding on to both of these dogs to keep them from running to my wife, who's got the treats.
Yeah.
I mean, that's right. All right. So we got the puppy. Since we moved here, I told my wife moving back to Arkansas. Imagine a couple of big dogs running around the yard. She took it very seriously. I meant it like hypothetically, but nope. Here we are, real puppy, not a hypothetical puppy. Very much a real life puppy.
Yep. Here's my puppies. This is Old Man Samson. He's not that old. He's like 7 or 8.
He's not nearly hairy enough for a Samson.
Yeah, I know. He's just super strong, ridiculously strong. Then Maya, the cuddle bug. She's fat, but we love her. And then the puppy, good old Tycho.
Wow, you got 3 Dalmatians?
You put them all together and voila.
Wow, that is
I've never
a lot
seen
of dog.
that many Dalmatians, except for in the feature film.
I was going to say, there's some movies.
They're very, very immodest. We go anywhere and like a crowd flocks to us wanting to pet them and talk to them. And they don't care about us, just the dogs. I mean, I get it because I love my dogs. They're awesome. But puppies.
Wow. Beautiful. Freddie, you have alluded to the fact that you've got dogs.
Yeah. Many dogs throughout my life. This is my pup right here. He's about 4 years old, I believe. 4 years old, exact. To the month. Wow. And
did you forget his birthday?
No, it's later on. It's
okay.
It's way later on. Yeah, so he's chilling here. He's always bugging me when I work though. He's my arm is hanging off the side kind of. And he's tall enough to hit it with his nose, and he usually hits my arm and it lands on the top of his head every single time. When I'm in a meeting, doesn't matter if I'm talking to counsel or whomever. It's always he always wants the attention. Then I just give him a couple pats, and then he runs on his way. He's a pretty massive. He's a Doberman, so he's got a pretty massive physique for a Doberman, and incredibly strong too. So I mean, I don't
You
know.
would have
Sometimes
a
I
Doberman,
don't.
Freddie.
Sometimes I don't really like to walk him too much because he can. I mean, he would probably rip the arm out of my socket. That's why I have to work out. It's not to look good or anything. It's so that I can walk.
So you can walk your dog. That's a
get
good. That's a
that.
good
Can
Star Wars
maintain
connection, though.
My own personal safety.
I found myself
Yes.
the other day in a conversation with my kids about like the whole thing where Chewie, theoretically pulls people's arms out of their sockets.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's that game where Chewie, you got to let the Wookiee win. They're like, why do you got to let the Wookiee win? And I was like, because he'll pull your arm out of your sockets. And they were like, hold up, wait a second, that sounds violent. I thought Chewie was nice, and I was like, no, don't overthink it. But hey,
Let
you
the
got
Wookiee win.
That's right. Let the Doberman win. That's what I'm hearing. Freddie, you would have a Doberman. You're such like a laid back, kind, gentle guy. Also, could totally kick anybody's butt with your
Like a
judo.
a subtle beast.
The subtle
A
beast.
sleeper, as they say.
Hey.
Emily, how about you? What's your pet history? Give us something juicy like gerbils or snakes.
Well, I do have that. This is not either of those things. This is my dog playing with an egg. Her name's Riley. We rescued her in Kansas, and she's like 30 pounds, super, super cuddly, very social. She's always underfoot. Like, she'll follow me around the house all day, every day. If she's separated from us, she whines. But she doesn't really care to run away. First dog I've ever had that couldn't care less about being away from us. Like, just wants to be around. And I also, when I was a teacher, I got a grant to get a classroom pet. Any guesses as to which classroom pet I picked?
Let's see. You. If I remember correctly, you were semi-quirky back then. So is it a quirky kind of pet?
What are you saying? That now
I
she's
was
just a boring mom?
semi-quirky.
Is that what you're saying?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, Dollywood and the whole...
that's right.
What was it? The
Dollywood
bow
thing.
tie collection?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Of one.
What about like a ferret?
Fedoras? No, not
Ferrets
fedoras.
freak me out, man. I'm not a fan.
They're
Okay.
stinky.
But that's
Strike out
cool.
on ferret. I understand.
not a
That's fine.
ferret.
Snake.
Snake, yep. Yep, I had a python. Any guesses as to what kind of name it had?
Okay.
What did I name my
A python. Okay.
Is it Harry Potter related?
It's got to be Star Wars, right?
No.
It's got to be a Star Wars name.
Uh,
It's not a Star Wars name? This is before
No.
you met Corey Helton.
Niche comedy.
Niche comedy.
Chris Farley.
No.
Oh, dang it.
Good guess. Good guess.
Starts
Sir
with
Mix-a-Lot.
M.
Anaconda. No, that's Anaconda.
Man.
It's
Mike.
Mike Myers.
Monty the
Oh,
python.
that's really.
Hey.
Oh, that's
That's-
so good.
You know what? I knew
That
that.
is
You've
good.
said this before.
I have
I
said it
remember this
before.
too. We're just bad listeners. For sure.
Oh, it's okay.
That's right. But we're great talkers, and that's why you're here for our podcast. Well, we are not going to be talking about our own personal pets tonight, other than the fact that we just did.
Oh,
You're welcome. Oh, did we miss one?
I got a cat. There you go. Ta-da! His name is Sergeant Tibbs because that's the only cat in 101
Sergeant
Dalmatians.
Tibbs.
Oh, you're right about that.
adorable.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay. Moving along.
So cool.
Honestly, shout out to Sergeant Tibbs for surviving in a house with 3 Dalmatians.
And 2 young children.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
said
lot.
it. You said it, not me.
Do you ever see the cat, or is the cat just
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like around?
Oh, he beats up the kids. He doesn't like the kids. He'll chase them and start biting their ankles and stuff. And yeah, he loves the adults. So he'll cuddle on any adult's shoulder, but kids he does not like. Tycho will go and antagonize him, and like they'll fight. But yeah, he holds his own pretty well because he was like
Dog
a
fight?
rescue. Yeah.
Yeah, who needs to parent when you can just have your cat keep your kids in line?
Yeah, for real.
It reminds me of when my wife did her student teaching in Bald Knob, Arkansas,
Hey,
which is a real place.
that's where
and,
Disco went too.
And there was a kid in her class who had a pet monkey. And one day
wow.
at parent-teacher conference, Rebecca, and the teacher were like, "Yo, tell us about the monkey." And she was like, "Yeah, the monkey's not really working out, so we got another monkey to teach the first monkey how to do the laundry."
Why do I feel like you've
you know.
told me this before?
I mean, it's one of my stories.
I think it is, yeah.
It's definitely in the tool belt of stories.
I would say this must have been one of the early Legends Look Back stories.
Yeah,
I believe that.
I don't
could see
know
that.
the stories. That sounds right.
It's so
That
good.
sounds horrifying.
I would really like a laundry monkey. Is there one that does the dishes too? Is that an option?
Dobby. Dobby.
anytime,
Name it Dobby.
anytime my wife and I, neither of us want to do the chores, we'll be like, you know what we need? We need a monkey to
whole
train the other
team of
monkey
them.
to do the chores. Well, this leads us into the show tonight, which is the fact that, for Star Wars being a galaxy with dozens, if not thousands, of ridiculous creatures, there are very few pets. We're going to talk about some of those pets tonight. We're also going to talk about the great stable of pets. Of creatures. Even, shall we say, monsters. Video editor can insert one of those noises right there. And maybe some lightning for Halloween.
Oh, here we go. Here, I got some.
All right, we got one. Here we go. Monsters.
Okay.
That could have been better. Let's be honest. So, we're going to talk about,
Okay.
in case you
Rick
can't tell,
roasting himself.
Rick got himself some sound effect buttons. So it's going to be a fun show. Also, we're going to talk about which of these monsters we would like to have as our own personal pet. I'm talking about the great creatures, the great monsters of the expanded universe. There's some awesome ones for us to talk about. There's also some weird ones, and I can't wait for it. So, without further ado, Rick, let's go to the zoo. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Legends Look Back, proudly part of the YOUTINI podcast network. This is a Star Wars books podcast for people who believe Earthworm Jim is the best video game of all time, and we will never be convinced otherwise. Where we celebrate our rich EU history as well as dive into lesser-known Star Wars classics. I'm your host, Jared Mays, and I'm joined tonight by my legendary co-hosts, Freddie C.
I love Earthworm Jim. I totally forgot about that game. I hadn't thought about it in a while. It was definitely one of my top 10 games. Definitely nostalgia factor, though, for sure.
Oh, man. I went down a deep YouTube rabbit hole this week, all about it. You know who else loves him a good YouTube rabbit hole? Our producer, Rick Grace.
Hey, I know nothing about Earthworm, whomever
James.
that I recall. James.
Earthworm James.
Earthworm Jimothy.
I was going to say Timothy. Dang it.
I'm here, though.
Yeah. You know who else
How
is
was
here?
nobody named Jimothy in real life? I feel like everybody wants to say it.
There
Such a
should
missed
be.
we got to get
opportunity.
a good pet name. Here we go. That would be a great pet name to go along with her
And our
pet
last
snake.
co-host,
That's
Jimothy
right.
Daybeck.
To go along with her pet snake, Emily Daybeck. How are you doing, Emily?
I'm doing well. I had no idea who Earthworm Jimothy is. I had to look him up.
Yeah, you should. I've
I've
got some
seen him
YouTube
around
videos to
though.
send
I
you.
remember his visage. I just have no idea what video game it is.
It was like a Sega Genesis game, I think.
Yeah.
That there was also a sequel,
Okay.
and then very cartoony, ridiculous, over the top, super heroic.
Is
And
it like
then they
Pajama
turned-
Sam? I remember Pajama Sam.
That's lost on me. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
it's fine.
he was like a superhero, but he was just a worm in a big bodysuit.
Can we
It
just
was
talk about Tonka?
It's
Ooh,
ridiculous.
Tonka trucks.
Man,
Oh,
that was
Pajama
a fun
Sam.
game.
Yeah, you were such a cool kid, Rick. Such a cool kid. Speaking of cool, tell the good folks about what's going on in your face.
Oh yeah, my face. I lost some facial hair.
That's what's different. I
You
don't know
just-
why. I can notice when hats change and hair changes, but for some reason facial hair.
You're just like, wow, that guy is uglier than usual, but no idea what it was, right? So I decided a long time ago. My church had a trunk or treat, Halloween, and I knew that I was going to be lazy and not clean out my trunk, and so I thought, okay, it'd be kind of funny if I did my theme as junk in the trunk,
No.
and so that was my theme. But I was like, how can I?
Mix a lot.
How can I get away with this? And I was like, I'll make it redneck, because what better way to do that than redneck? Oh yeah, excuse the junk in my trunk. And so I went all in on
Rick,
this. Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I want to say from my point of view is I don't usually scroll through Facebook. Never. It's never my thing. For some reason, I had an urge. I had an urge to go and just look at it.
Kind of like
And
with
I
Lucas
see-
dangling from that weather vane in
Dangle.
Empire Strikes Back.
Dangling. That's my new word, guys, is dangling.
Yeah, and
Dangling,
I
2
see.
syllables.
Speaking of dangling, I see Rick's stomach just on my screen.
Dangling. So yeah,
Dangling.
I went with a full on, no
Oh, we gotta
shame,
see. Show the people.
no shame redneck. I gotta set it up though. So I had
Okay.
I had the cutoff jeans, the cutoff t-shirt, mismatched boots. I put all kind. I actually did add some extra junk to my trunk. Wow, that sounds weird. And yeah, so here's the complete picture. Brace yourself. Also, I did modify my face, so the mustache is actually an improvement over what I had to scare the children on Halloween night. Here we go. That's the wrong image. Okay, here we go.
We got it. Wait
There
for
it
it.
is.
Go. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
It's Rick sitting in the back of his car in his jorts and his white upper arms.
They're there.
With the sign.
I almost
taped.
don't even recognize you, man.
Oh
the-
yeah.
Crazy.
There's
People
a sign
didn't-
duct taped to the back of the trunk that
Uh-huh.
says something about "Please excuse the junk in my trunk," and there's a tarp hanging out of it.
Yeah.
It's a
Got
mood.
an ammo box, a
involved.
packing chair. There's pieces of wood and trash everywhere. Here's the best seller right there. You get the
That's the one.
the full experience with
Wow.
the mutton
day.
chop, chin strap, the girth hanging out, the "Love You Mom" sharpied on my right arm.
Moving on,
That
in
is a
stark
bit.
contrast to Rick's Halloween costume.
I
was
got
it
a medal.
always- Oh yeah,
I got
hey,
a medal.
congratulations, everybody!
you.
Look at you.
Unlike Chewie,
Yeah.
Rick
Yeah.
won an award for this.
That's right.
Yeah, you look
And-
a lot like that guy I used to buy candy from.
We
There
went to Chick-fil-A afterwards, and it just looks so gross, man.
Did they
So
make you the owner?
They thought about it, man. I got looks. Let me tell you.
It was your pleasure, that's for sure. All right.
Oh,
Did any of the rest of y'all do Halloween costumes? I didn't get a chance this year. I was occupied on Monday.
excuses?
I think Emily had a nice
I
costume.
did. I did. Inspired by your introduction to the white girl fall meme, like what every white
did.
girl wears in the fall.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was such a cultural phenomenon. And so I decided for the first time in a very long time to dress up for Halloween. And I bet you can picture it in your mind. I had a white shirt on and a black vest and some pants
went to your
and
closet.
tall boots. I did go into my closet. I did buy the vest at Goodwill. Thank you very much. And I borrowed a belt from my husband. So it looks pretty Han Solo-y, if I have to say so myself. And I borrowed my husband's shirt too. So I borrowed a couple of things, but I technically didn't buy anything more than the vest for the costume. But yeah,
I applaud your efforts.
thank you so much. My culture is not your costume, so thank you.
Wow.
I love the holster there too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
perfect.
That's it. hmm
I love
Yeah,
it.
people were
Nice.
like, if it weren't for the belt, I would just think you were wearing clothes. Like, thanks a lot.
Well, it gives
part
it
of the
just
problem.
just enough of the spice to say, you know what, that's not just an outfit, that's a costume.
That's right.
Yep.
I low-key, after showing my belt buckle collection, really need like a legit Han Solo, like
Ooh,
screen
that'd be cool.
authentic belt, the belt buckle. Because Han Solo,
Yeah.
Cause Han Solo.
big into belt buckles.
Yep.
What is
Also
it called?
Emily.
The Corellian stripes down the side too.
The blood
Oh, yeah.
stripes.
Blood stripes. Corellian blood stripes. Is there any
Yeah.
Corellian in there? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Freddie, did you dress up? Did you get to do the
I did.
festivities?
I was Prince Iceholder. No one knew who I was.
You know, that
What now?
is the beauty of doing a cliche costumes. You don't have to explain yourself. Like, I thought about putting like a book in my pocket to like show people, but I was like, nah, this is
Right.
pretty self-explanatory. That's
Freddie,
hysterical.
I can't tell if you're joking or not.
So basically, I was Prince Iceholder as a vampire. That was my costume. So I had this if you go to Wikipedia and look up Prince Iceholder, I looked like that, but with vampire teeth. That was the difference.
Prince
Oh my
Iceholder.
gosh.
Yeah.
So he's just
Had
Fabio,
the headband.
right? Isn't that his
Yeah,
whole thing?
had the long hair, headband, had like
Oh,
the
fantastic.
blouse.
As a vampire.
I love it. I feel so sad that I didn't participate. Next year, I want to buy
both
one of
be
those
Prince
Bosk
Iceholder.
masks from Spirit Halloween, and then I'm gonna wear it with my Jedi robes and be a Trandoshan Jedi.
There you
Nice.
go.
We'll see if we can pull it together. But we're going to talk about, in the spirit of the spooky season, now that it's November and everybody's moved on. We haven't, because we're all about the outdated and irrelevant here at Legends Look Back. As we celebrate the Star Wars expanded universe, we're going to talk about the great monsters of the Star Wars universe. Let's go ahead and get the cliche out of the way, Emily. Just for you, right? What is your favorite movie monster? Your favorite monster from the Star Wars films themselves? Let's go ahead and plow through, the A-list monsters, and I want us to get into like D-tier monsters for today's episode.
Okay.
You have like a favorite of the original trilogy monsters?
I mean, I feel like the Noble Tauntaun is like, it can't be overstated. It is like reliable, might be a little smelly, but man, you need something to get you around in the snow. As I'm a horse girl, so I really like rideable animals.
Like Valentine Farfalla?
Oh, well, no.
I've never seen what's happening below the waist over there. This is, after all, a video podcast.
Yeah, I'm a horse girl, turns out. I am half, not bovine, equine.
Equine.
Half Bothan.
Yeah, no, I don't know where to take that.
And I thought they smelled bad on the outside. All right. So
I mean, Darth
Tauntauns are off
Terminus
the
is my
board.
son, so.
That is true. Hey, I feel like we need to pull out some strings and a map. The conspiracy theory is adding up. Never seen her below the waist.
You have.
Her son is
Celebration, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, theory's busted.
Yeah, you did.
That's funny.
All right,
Well,
moving on.
more.
Tauntauns are off the board. That's Emily's favorite original trilogy monster. Who else? Freddie?
You know what, Rick? Go ahead.
Hey, thank you. Woohoo, okay. All right.
That was the you just skipped over me noise.
It was the please don't take mine. Please don't take mine. I'm going to go with the Sarlacc, man. I had nightmares of that thing. The original un-CGI'd, just the pit of teeth in the sand with some tentacles.
So you're a
It's
no
terrifying.
beak guy.
I mean, I like both versions, but the original is what I had very vivid memories of and some nightmares. So,
well, I think we've got a picture of it. The cool thing about the Sarlacc is Legends actually, explores it below the surface, if you will. How many times does Boba Fett get swallowed and escape the Sarlacc pit in
Like 3 times.
in Legends? 3 times, I think.
I think there's 2
Something like that.
confirmed, 1 alleged.
And then there's a retelling of the same event that happens twice in both Tales of the Bounty Hunters and the Bounty Hunter Wars. This has been something that I've looked into recently for reasons. Okay, the Tauntauns and then Sarlaccs get explored quite decently in Legends. In the Thrawn trilogy, Mara Jade was retconned to having been that's not right, to have been past tense at Jabba's palace. And they refer to the Sarlacc pit as the Great Pit of Carkoon. Mm-hmm. Does that come from anywhere else? Is that just like a Zahn trying to zhuzh it up a bit?
I don't know.
I've heard it as the Pit of Carkoon, but I don't know if it's just from Thrawn or what.
That is just one of those things that's cemented into my Legends brain.
Yeah.
As like one of those little Legends factoids that.
If you look on, oh man, we're gonna mention it twice, so get your toothpick holders ready. In Star Wars Galaxies, if you open the map, if you open the map and you look for points of interest, you will see the Pit of Carkoon. That's
it
what
calls
it's
it
called.
that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. He's all right. Jabba, Skooma Joe says Jabba calls it the Pit of Sarkoon in Return of the Jedi. What do you speak Huttese now, Skooma Joe? Is that what this is? All right.
Hey! Okay, this
Rick
is
has
creepy.
found something.
Yes.
In the archives.
This is,
Either
like
that-
I said, one of the first Star Wars books I had as a kid before I knew there were other Star Wars books. And it says it. They were awaiting the fate that Jabba had decreed for them to be thrown into the Great Pit of Carkoon. It's there. I got that one.
So, okay. So is that like maybe the Pit of Carkoon? It's like It wasn't just a normal Sarlacc pit. It was like a legendary pit of
Isn't it?
Carcoon. Like
Gosh,
geographically
Like the big one.
referenced. Yeah.
It's
I
like
feel
the
like
big
there's
Sarlacc
a-
pit. There's
I feel
smaller
like there's a
Sarlacc
legend
pits.
that the Sarlacc pit was some sort of monster in an asteroid that crashed into Tatooine and ended up making residence there. I'm not.
Sounds right.
not
They've
sure
done
if anyone.
They've done more with him in recent canon. There's like a
Yeah.
whole thing where there's a baby Sarlacc at Doc Ondar's shop at Batuu, and it's a whole thing. It's Han
Yeah.
Solo. They're very disturbing.
Star Wars is weird, guys.
yeah. You heard it
So
here first,
weird.
folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort
However-
of like an animal pitcher plant, where it's just like sitting
Sure.
there
Uh-huh.
and just.
I like
follows
the
whatever comes
scene-
along.
I love the scene in Kenobi where the what's the teenage girl?
Oh,
Ah.
okay. Annalyn.
She's
Anna.
her daughter
Yeah.
is riding
No,
the dewback across. Is it a dewback?
No,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. It's
No.
not. Oh,
no.
Eope.
Eope. Yeah.
Across a pit of Sarlacc, a field of Sarlacc pits.
A field of
Like-
Sarlacc
like
pits.
baby Sarlacc pits.
That's crazy.
Anyway, it's a great scene. Good book. All right, here's who else gets to pick. I asked the question, so I have to
let's
go
see.
last. Is that how it goes?
I haven't gone yet, so this one's
Don't
a
you
tough
take my
one.
pick.
I've got a few. I don't want to take your pick, so I'm going to say one that I know probably isn't your pick. I like Nexu. I'm a big fan of Nexu. I feel like it's like a, what is it? Like a tiger, cat, wolf.
Dinosaur.
With razor blade
dinosaur-
teeth and
razor blade-
6 eyes.
Yeah, I would like to have a pet Acklay and a pet Nexu for sure.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that more before the episode's over. There is a very iconic Nexu in
Ooh,
Legends.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
I
I love
hated
that this
that
one,
thing.
this thing, my wife, I was telling her about the episode, and she said, "Oh, is that the thing that conveniently scratches Padme's blouse in just the right way?"
Just perfectly
Yeah.
for, what was it, 1990 or 1999 or
2001?
2001, yeah.
yeah.
That's a 2001 thing.
Yep.
Very much so. All right, my pick
The
is
Britney
Rankers.
Spears.
There we go.
movie.
Yeah, very much a Britney Spears thing. Yeah, Rankers.
Rankers?
Nothing like Britney
knew it.
Spears,
I
but
didn't say
Nothing
ranker.
like-
a great
That's gonna be my next pick.
classic
Yeah,
Star
same.
Wars creature. I do love the way that they're developed in Legends. We'll come back to that more in a minute. I think the defining thing about the Rancor, other than the fact, now I call them that. We've joked about it for so long, I can't stop calling them that. About the Rancors
I love it.
is, first of all, they've got like a keeper. There's like a dude
Uh-huh.
who trains them,
Yeah.
befriends
Like
them.
they imprint on each
Malakili.
other.
Yeah, his story is really good in Tales of Jabba's Palace. Very
It
good.
is. Yeah.
But also, I think what makes them really work is the fact that the nostrils are above the eyes.
Mm.
That,
Oh, yeah.
to me, is the defining characteristic. The
There's another
nose
crazy thing,
above the eyes.
right?
Go ahead.
It's an arachnid. It's like part arachnid, I think. That's like the species of it.
But it doesn't have 8 limbs.
Well, part arachnid.
I
There
would say half.
I'm going to give that one
Fact
a solid. I'm going to give that one a solid. But also, we're going to come back to. There's at least one more creature tonight that we're going to talk about that has 8 limbs. Are they part arachnid? Who knows? Anyway, there's some great classic, original trilogy and/or Freddy's referenced the prequel monster here. Rick, I think we've got a spread with some movie monsters. Let us know your favorite movie monster. We've picked Tauntauns, Nexu, Sarlacc, and the one I said, Rancors. Right, Rancors. So anyway, let us know your favorite
Ooh, you
movie
have a
monster.
Legends
Any
dialect.
others? Any others that we haven't mentioned that deserve at least a quick shout out here before we move on to the
How about-
Legends monsters proper?
How about the top right or top left hand corner there? That's a pretty popular one. I'm sure we all recognize the Wampa.
The trouble with the Wampa
yeah.
is it's introduced in the special edition.
Yeah.
So in the original, all you see is just the hand, right? And the face.
What about
You don't get the full body until 97.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't think it's a bad design. I don't know. At least it's a little bit of cred for me. It may not matter, but
You know which
All
one
right.
does not lose cred for me is the crate dragon.
The Krayt Dragon is awesome because you only see the skeleton in the original films. And then that's where the expanded universe jumps in to expand the lore, right? And also we're going to talk about the Krayt Dragon in KOTOR because it's kind of just like a schleppy, chubby boy hanging out in a cave, sitting on his pearls.
My man.
So, some great movie characters. Let's talk about movie monsters. Let's talk about the great legend-specific monsters. Now, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to run down a list of the carefully curated list that I put together in a couple hours today and last night. And then after we've gone through them all, we're going to come back around and rank them in a top 10 fashion. Are we ready? So, in no particular order, Freddie is going to lead us off with the Balyeg.
Yeah, the Balyeg. So Balyeg shows up in Blood Ties, and it's a scene where we see Boba Fett surrounded by a bunch of thugs with very menacing-looking weapons and faces, and he's I think just talking to himself, or it's in his head talking about why he's not afraid of the situation, and then immediately it cuts into the next scene where you see Jango Fett training Boba Fett to face fear, right? To face fear and never be afraid of it, and sends him into the cave at the ripe old age of probably like 8 or 9 or something like that.
Fantastic parenting.
And
second only to Rick having his cats bite his kids to keep them in line.
There you go. And his goal is to get the tooth from the Balyeg, and gets it. And that's probably one of the most intense creatures. It's humongous. I would say Boba Fett is the size of the tooth, if I remember.
Yeah, pretty big one.
Definitely, it's a very iconic, very iconic imagery. Also, a great way to kick off the story, and then. I mean, it's literally the beginning of this entire epic saga. It's the equivalent of like the birthday spanking, just like, all right, here we go, boy, and pushes him out the nest to go retrieve the tooth. And then it does come back around, the Balyeg tooth, before the end of the story. So very good from Boba Fett Blood Ties, the Balyeg, an iconic Legends monster. Who else we got? Oh, it's my turn. Rick, show the good folks what a Gizka is. I was talking to my kids about this episode before it, and I was like, hey, I'll show you which ones we're talking about. I had to edit a couple of these out. They were too scary. They said, show us the cute ones. I let off with this bad boy, the Gizkas. Here's the deal about the Gizkas.
What is that?
This is...
It's like a fossil.
It's an extremely reproductive amphibian.
What?
That makes his home on the Ebon Hawk in Knights of the Old Republic. So there's a planet that you go to, and one of them comes up to you and smiles, and you pet it, and you're like, oh, what's up, cute little fella? And then he like imprints on you. And if I remember this correctly, goes and makes his home in the Ebon Hawk. The Gizkas are notorious for like destroying electrical wiring, so they like start chewing on the ship, messing things up. All the crew members on the ship get upset. They're like, bro, you got to kick these out of here. And so depending on if you've taken the light path or the dark path, you can either find a way to murder them or you
for the light path, right?
or you have to find a way to, creatively get them to relocate off the ship. I don't want to spoil it for, because it really is. All right, this is a game that's like light and dark and Sith Lords. Mm-hmm. And you're slaying monsters, but then also you have to figure out how to deal with the Gizka infestation on your ship.
Yeah,
and I believe that if you try to strangle one, somewhere along the line they reproduce more, and so you have to find a more creative solution to get rid of them. And so this is like the most critically acclaimed Star Wars video game ever made. And one of the plot points is that if you mess this plot up bad enough, your ship will be literally teeming with hundreds of Gizka. They'll be up under your feet. You'll be squishing them. Canderous Ordo, the Mandalorian, who'll be like, "I hate these dang things." It's like, oh, it's hilarious.
How many Gizkas did you try to strangle, Jared?
I don't have like a number off the top of my head,
Hundreds.
but I know for sure I've strangled at least a couple of dozen Gizka. I mean, that's just like anybody.
which ended up with hundreds of them infesting your ship
Yeah, no, they're
and
just hopping
significantly
everywhere.
delaying your gameplay.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
It's a great little side quest.
That's so fun.
Delightful,
That
even.
sound, yeah.
You know what else is delightful? Our next monster tonight, also from Knights of the Old Republic, the Tarentatech. The Tarentatechs are dubbed. Yeah, Emily, I want to hear you try to say Tarentatech. All right.
Tarentatechs. No, there's a reason I didn't choose that one. Tarentatechs. What?
Rick, is this one of those words that, if you spell it backwards, is the
Oh my
exact
gosh.
same word?
No, it's
That looks like
definitely
a
not.
straight up Pokemon.
So it is-
100%.
Yeah, or no, it's definitely more Digimon, I would say.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I
Digimon
wanna
for
Legendary
sure.
quality.
The
Yeah.
Tarentatech's business card says Tarentatech, straight up Pokemon. Also, within the universe, they're dubbed Jedi killers. Tarentatechs were, if I remember correctly, they're introduced in Knights of the Old Republic. They're in a handful of other titles as well. They're like an ancient creature that were bioengineered to, and I'm pulling all this out of my butt here. I think they can sniff. They were engineered to sniff out like bombs on planets, and then by the Jedi, and then or the Sith maybe, somewhere along the way they developed a taste for Force-infused meat, and
I'm sorry,
they
what?
it backfired. They
Oh, you've never had it before?
They began to
Force
feast.
like Wagyu beef.
Yeah, you got to slow cook it. So they hunt the Jedi, and so then like eventually I think they dump them on the moon of Bogan. And so the moon of Bogan, you got Ashla and Bogan, like this old school George Lucas concept of light and dark, and the Dawn of the Jedi comics in the book. There's like a horde of them on the moon of Bogan, which is super metal. They have
It totally is. That'll shred.
For sure. Yeah, I'd like to hear a heavy metal band called the Horde of Tarentatechs. Anyway,
Good name, actually.
getting
Yeah,
off
it
the
would.
rails. In KOTOR, they're like, whenever you get to the darkest, scariest places ever, you're like, I bet you there's a Tarentatech in here. So, like, the underbelly of Kashyyyk, like the bottom floor, like the ground floor,
Oof.
not up in the branches, where they're wearing their red robes and celebrating Life Day. We're talking about the basement.
Oh, man.
They're down there, pretty scary. One of them has, like, a rusted sword stuck in its side. You've got to retrieve it as a mission. It's very metal.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got a lot more to say about it, but let's move on. So far we've got Balyeg, Gizkaz, and Tarentatech.
Tarentatechs.
Who's up next? Emily?
Yes.
This is definitely just as
OG.
frightening. Definitely just as frightening as Tarentatechs, isn't it?
If you are force sensitive, possibly. The Isla Miri from Heir to the Empire. So they're Thrawn's little pet sloths that just kind of like hang around your neck and block force. They like create like little anti-force bubbles. And so it prevents the force from working when you're around them. It's like classic Legends. You can't read a Legends book without a reference to one of these, I think. Right?
They're in a lot of books, that's for sure. I mean,
I've actually
I feel like
got
they're
a-
in like most of them.
Got a little action figure here, like a classic 90s Thrawn with a Ysalamari around his
Oh,
neck.
nice.
So that's cool.
That's right.
I think
right.
did
That's
you
really
get that
cool.
in Orange County when we went?
I might have. I think I
think you
did. Yeah.
Awesome.
And to
Yeah,
be
because
fair,
you
they
walked
are
in the
like
store.
yeah.
You walked in the store, Freddie, and you were just like, you walked right to it. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Star Wars things, and you just like had a homing beacon. You could sense that bubble, that force.
Yeah.
So
Force
the
bubble.
basic idea is they like evolved, in the jungle to repel their natural predator. Is that right? The Vornskers.
Vornskers, yeah.
Who's talking about the Vornskers? Tell us
Speaking
more
of
about
the
these bad boys.
Vornskers,
Yeah.
they are the animal, the creature that hunts Ysalamari. Ysalamari.
Yeah, you didn't say that half as elegantly as Emily. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. On is it Mercure? And they sniff the absence of the Force.
No.
Take that. There's no Force here. So yeah, so they do. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
What is
this
that, like a
panel.
wolf?
This is an image from. Yeah, it's like a wolf.
looks
This
like
is
it's
an image from
part
one of
Gungan.
the Thrawn trilogy comic adaptations. So very cool. So these form like a great little. It's great world building, to have as Luke and Mara are trekking through the jungle, both not just the Salamari, but also the Vornskurs and the way they play off each other and both kind of form this ecosystem on Mirkor. Then, eventually, later on in the universe, as one of our honorable mentions, we've got a much more terrifying Yuuzhan Vong bioengineered version of the Vornskurs called the Voxen.
Ooh.
And the Voxen are featured as the major villain in Star by Star, one of the pivotal New Jedi Order novels. And so these Voxen are bioengineered by the Yuuzhan Vong with Vornskurs, and then like one of their own poisonous beasts to hunt a Jedi. So they can sniff them out, and then they poison them. There's more to it than that, but then they've got to go hunt down the Voxen Queen, because they only successfully engineered one, and then they were cloning it. And so it forms like a great plot, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's juicy.
That does sound good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling like next year on Legends Look Back, we just do nothing but the New Jedi Order the entire year. Or at least, like, I don't know, like a season, a quarter. We're teasing it. We're working on it. We'll see.
That's not a bad idea. I like
A
that.
lot of reading.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, Rick's like, I don't know if I have time for this.
There's not enough audiobooks, but I still
Maybe
am
one day.
intrigued. I'm intrigued.
Maybe one day. Okay, so we've got Balya, Gizkis, Torrentatex, Isalamiri, Vornskurs. We talked a little bit about the Voxen. Who else we got here?
We've got Dagobah spiders.
Yeah.
So Ralph
Those are so
McQuarrie, this is something that it was a concept art that first appeared in Darksaber, also featured in Junior Jedi Knights, Anakin's Quest, Star Wars Rebels, which is my first encounter with it, and most recently in The Mandalorian. So there's these like little like squid spider type things. So they like, can you show the picture, Rick?
I'm trying to find it. I know it's somewhere.
It's like, all right, well, I'll just explain. All right, they're these like cool little like spider creepy things
that's
that
not
have.
That is a Dagobah spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's
RMQ.
like a knobby
RM
white spider.
There
it
you
is.
go.
There it is.
Yeah. And
So
they later
creepy.
grew into gnarl trees.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's-
This is
It's really nuts.
This is some rich lore. I love the way that these have been brought back around.
Yeah.
It's such an iconic Ralph McQuarrie design.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that comes from Dave Filoni. We were just talking about before the show, but when I saw Dave Filoni, he likes to doodle a lot. I mean, he's a doodler. He's a cartoonist or drawer. He's very good at what he does, right? And he loves McQuarrie. He loves his art. He's fascinated by it. And if you notice, the person who is now not just in charge of not what is it, Mandalorian, but I feel like some pretty big decisions, bringing back some of that classic stuff, Dave Filoni, into our feature films
It's so exciting.
or shows, at least Disney shows. Yeah, so cool
Definitely.
to see some of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of old school designs brought back around, Freddie, we've got another one of these old school designs that's recently been brought back into canon.
Yes, best canon character of all time, the Hoojibs.
The who?
The Hoojibs.
What? No. What is this? Is not.
This is
This
your
isn't a
canon
thing.
character right here. This is what the phase
This
3 is going to be about the
Dr.
Hoojibs.
Seuss. Get out of here.
So the Hoojibs first appeared in, I think it was Marvel Star Wars, the original Marvel Star Wars in
Oh,
1977.
yeah. Some old school stuff.
Yeah, issue 56. And if I remember correctly, so they're telepathic rodents. They look like bunnies. And they're energy feeding rodents. Indigenous. I'm going to read the book here because it's been a while. It's been I'm pretty sure I read this like
No shame in that, Freddie. You
15
got to do what
years
you got to do sometimes.
All right, so Hoojibs are a species of sentient, telepathic, energy-feeding rodents indigenous to the planet Abra, existing peacefully in a geothermic cave. The Hoojibs are menaced by an alien Slivit. I'm pretty sure I said that right. But assisted the Alliance to restore the Republic in defeating the monster and establishing a base inside the Crystal Cave following the Battle of Hoth. So they are heroes.
I remember this
The
being
Alliance.
one of the more interesting, quirky, and like memorable like old school Marvel stories.
Yeah.
Like one of my top 5, probably.
It's really good.
I think that Joxy and Trevor talked about these on the Star Wars Archives. So check out our Patreon over there for their Who Jibs episode. I know for a fact that this has come up. I could not tell you which episode it was. So you got to listen to all 50 episodes in order to find it. You're going to love it. Good luck. And Who Jibs, we got a vast array of threat level with these beasts tonight, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely
Polyegg to
the other end. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of threat level, take us to the next one, Rick.
Yeah, so I just encountered these creatures in my reading journey. Read Red Harvest, which is a Star Wars Jedi, not Star Wars Jedi. It's a Star Wars zombie book. There's Jedi, and spoiler for that book, but it's all about this engineered kind of Sith cultist plague, the Murakami Orchid Plague, and it infects all these Sith students, but it also infects some Tauntauns. And so you have, that's still a Hujib. You have these zombie Tauntauns that are absolutely
Oh my
terrifying.
gosh.
Yeah, that's right. And there's zombies
And-
inside of the Tauntaun.
This is something that
yeah.
I could not show my children
Yeah.
for the record.
Yeah, that's right. That's good
That's
to keep the children away.
horrifying.
But I want to remind you also that this audiobook was quite off the path as far as like quality and stuff goes. And so I can't remember exactly how they portray these in the book. It's either comical or terrifying, but there's no middle ground in that book.
No, there is not.
Yeah. But it definitely was
Yeah.
memorable.
All right, what sound, if you don't remember, what sound do you think a zombie tauntaun makes? Because the tauntaun is kind of like a right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Emily,
Sounds
your
Or
turn.
like you're
gargly.
Reggie.
Yeah, yours is better.
All right, one of us has to scream at the top of our lungs while another one of us makes the regular tauntaun noise. Ready? We don't have to do it. Okay.
All right, good. Yeah. My
Emily
bad.
is shaking her head
Jumped
profusely.
again.
See, Emily, that face you just made is exactly the face you're going to make the entire time that you read Red Harvest. You're like,
Yeah.
make it stop. Please
Yeah.
make it stop.
That was good. It just was.
No, I'm just saying it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Woo.
I want to
I
know
like
more
to
about the
listen to
Jedi
it.
botanist, though, man.
I like to listen to it when
Oh, yeah.
it snows because
Yeah.
the book has got like this the snowy landscape of
Oh,
it
yeah,
all,
that's right.
and so I like to run through the cemetery in the snow and listen to Red Harvest when I'm really in a mood.
Seance.
Dude, you're going to get tripped by like a vine and scream and pee your pants and run home because you're going to be like, oh, it's happening. I knew this day would come.
First time I tried Red Harvest, it was too much for me, and I quit it. I was like,
nice.
not about to do that.
That's so funny.
It's
That's right.
gory for sure.
I was like, get this devil stuff out of here.
Yeah.
But I came back around.
Yep.
I had to conquer my fears the old-fashioned way, just like Luke's Jedi Academy students had to do on their very first mission after the Jedi Academy trilogy in the graphic novel, the little comics miniseries from Dark Horse back in the late 90s, Jedi Academy Leviathan, where they have to go and take down an ancient, thought to be extinct, bioengineered serpentine monster with face tendrils and 4 eyes, little beady eyes on this gigantic monster, and razor sharp teeth. Rick, we got an image of the Leviathan there, in the background of the Jedi Academy Leviathan graphic novel cover. You got Kip Duron and Borsk 82. Borsk is a different guy. Dorsk 82, Kip Duron, Tion, and the crew, all those weirdos. So they got to go take down this big old dragon. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah, just
That's
like I would say,
ridiculous.
I'd say kind of like a. It is a fun. It's called here in the chat. Who is this? Skooma Joe says it's a fun little comic. It is. I like seeing that crew of students have to go do a mission after they've graduated the academy,
That's cool.
or like maybe it's their last trial to become Jedi Knights. I don't remember. It's been a while, but it's kind of like the Proto Zillo Beast, like this gigantic ancient monster that
Yeah.
is ruining everybody's days. You know who will never ruin anybody's days? Our next
Best.
pick, and that is Murd. Emily, is this one yours? Who's doing Murd?
Oh, I could read it. I have no idea what this is.
Nerd.
Republic Commando. Is that from where it's from?
Yeah.
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 Oh, that's right. It's is a strill, the hermaphroditic six-legged pet of the Mandalorian Waylon Vow, capable
how I say
of fly gliding like Buzz Lightyear and flying squirrels.
Yeah.
Real name is Lord Myrtilon. Known for smelling
I teed her up with this one. She can't even get through it.
for smelling super dank and kicking separatist butt. That I'm gonna need a picture of that. I'm sorry. So it's a
There's actually
hermaphroditic.
there's a great picture on the Wook of Murd. His
Yeah.
tongue is sticking out of his head, like looping around in a big old circle.
It's like a think of like your average golden retriever with an incredibly long tongue, like cartoonishly long. Yeah.
yeah, and it's got like
And it's
extra
hermaphroditic,
skin.
which is somehow important.
extra skin like a basset hound.
Yeah.
So it can
It's not-
glide. It can glide like a squirrel, like a flying squirrel. On Coruscant, it glides in between buildings on like an undercover strike team mission. It's the coolest
that's
scene.
right.
And was that the second Republic Commando book?
What a weird animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
what's fun,
it's like a golden retriever. I can't not see it now.
what's
like
fun
that
is
mixed with
that
like a bat.
the Mandalorians that you spend time with, they just think this thing is the stinkiest creature on
Yeah.
planet Earth. But what's funny is like they're in helmets. Like how are they smelling this thing through their helmets? Anyway, it's a great little bit of character
can we
and
just talk
humor.
about how awesome the adjective dank is? Because
Yeah,
I feel like it's the best thing ever. At
dank.
Celebration, one of the High Republic authors, he mentioned this group called the Dank Grax, I think. Is that who it was? And I couldn't get that in
it's
my
just
head.
Daniel Jose Older. That's
That's
a very
right.
Daniel.
That's right.
Very Daniel Jose Older thing to say.
Oh my gosh, it was like one of the best moments of Celebration. It was hysterical to me. He
All right,
doodled it on a
before-
napkin.
That's right, very dank. The dank Murd. Shout out to Murd. We've got a vast array of Star Wars Expanded Universe monsters here. Before we rank them, any others that there we go. Thank you, Rick, for finding our image of Murd. I didn't cue it up, but what a great illustration! Oh my gosh, I'm about to make this my phone background. I love this.
Six-legged. Man.
It looks all crumply.
Murd is a real one.
Murd.
Yeah, it's got all this extra saggy skin, and then you just kind of think like, oh, it's kind of like a basset hound, and then it friggin' flies. And it's you learn that it's
cool.
it's there for a reason. All right, now before we rank, do our definitive Legends look back top 10 the greatest monsters in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Any others that need to make the list here? Freddie, I saw that you had one more that you wanted to add.
Yeah. So there's a creature I really like, honestly, and it's I feel like it's been in a couple things, definitely in Star Wars Galaxies, and
There it is.
there it is. That's the second one, and the Bolotar is it's like one of the it's basically, let's see, we've got some pictures, right? It's basically like a giant lizard that you get to ride around
We're
on.
keeping Rick very busy tonight with the images. Thank you,
Oh
Rick.
yeah, we are. Yeah, thanks, Rick.
Sure thing.
And so in Kashyyyk, it's obviously very, very foresty, hard to get around in a vehicle. So these are your main means of transport throughout the forests of Kashyyyk. You do have to get it though. It's not something you get for free. But it's like a giant lizard, almost like a fractal.
We've got a new member at our church who's like, I don't know, close to our age. And these couples are into Star Wars. And she was telling me the other day, oh, I'm really into Star Wars. Like more than I was talking to her husband thinking he was, and it was sexist to me to think that that the dude was more into Star Wars than the wife. It was, I'll admit it. And then he said, she's actually more into it than me. And she said, oh yeah, I even still play. I don't know if you've heard of it. The classic Star Wars MMO. And I thought for a second there she was about to say Star Wars Galaxies, and then she said Star Wars The Old Republic. And I was like, ah. Yeah, I play SWTOR. But
Yeah,
I
can
was
we-
like, we're about to have to introduce you to Freddie C.
Are we having confession
The
time?
classic.
Are we having a
Love
confession here?
I mean,
Because
this episode is off the rails, so say what you got to say, Rick.
whenever you like meet somebody new and they're like, "Oh yeah, I love Star Wars," and then you kind of have to play the maybe it's just me, but like the one-up game of, "Oh, really? Oh, have you read the comics? Oh, have you read the books? Oh, do you have a Star Wars podcast that show on the air every Thursday night at 8:30, 9:30 Eastern?" Like
It is so funny. It's like
Yeah.
it's totally a competition. Like on,
I do the
on
opposite.
Halloween, I met a guy who was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan." It's like, "Oh yeah, you're like I work for a
that's
Star
cute.
Wars company." He's like, "Oh," and I was like, "I'm on a Star Wars podcast." He's like, "Oh well, which books do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, well, the Legends books." He's like, "Okay, but which ones?" I'm like,
Yeah.
all of them.
We read them all.
Like-
Yeah, I never know. Russian
I don't know how
roulette
to
on which one we're
answer
getting
that.
next month.
Yeah.
Right. But Star Wars is
I-
for everybody. I don't want to be a gatekeeper.
Right.
And
I kind of do
get
the
it.
opposite, Rick. I downplay it because
That's what I do.
I have so much to
much.
say about Star Wars.
Gotcha.
I have so much to say.
I like
People
to
are
test, right?
I see
I like
a
to
kid
test.
I see a kid in a Baby Yoda shirt, and I'm like, "Hey, you like Star Wars?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Me too. See you later." But then there's other times where I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah." Like somebody's like,
It's
"Hey,
true,
Jared likes
yeah.
Star Wars," and I'm just like, "Yeah, I do. I do."
Yeah, that's how it is with
And
me.
I
And
just-
it's like, Nia will meet some friends, and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, he loves Star Wars." I'm like, "Oh yeah, Star Wars. I like Star Wars. It's pretty cool."
You kind of have to, like the Yasalamari, you got to sniff around a bit and see, or is it the Vornskers? Like the
It's the
Vornskers.
Vornskers,
Let's
yeah.
try this again. Like the Vornskers. You got to sniff around a bit and see.
like, hey,
you know.
Hoojibs, and they're like, "Oh, I love Hoojibs." And we're like, ah.
If I
Now we're
discover the
talking.
person is willing to go there, because a lot of times, unfortunately, what you get is somebody who wants to dump on the prequels or the sequels or Dave Filoni or
No
you
interest.
name it, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. But if you want to get nerdy, I'll show
Yeah.
you my collection. Come on up.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of nerdy, let's get into our quick honorable mentions here. Before we move on, let's save the second one. We did the Voxen. All right, there's two that both start with G. I want to hear Rick try to disambiguate these two.
Well, let's see here. The redneck Rick would say Gorog, but I'm going to go with Gorog.
The Gorog is a major boss that you have to battle in The Force Unleashed 2.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we have pictures of both the Gorog and the Gorax, which is coming
Ooh,
up
Gorax.
next.
Very
I don't-
different.
Gorax. So,
Oh, hey, we
Wild
do.
beast.
Cool.
what is the Gorax, Freddie?
Gorax is a large primate-looking, hairy, Bigfoot kind of character
Wow.
that lives on Endor and harasses anything.
And everyone.
I'm not
Oh my
diagnosed.
gosh,
Yes, that's the
it's like a troll
Gorax.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, it's basically just a troll, right? A giant
very
troll.
powerful creature. That's for sure.
Have
Yeah,
y'all?
This is the major villain in Caravan of Courage.
Interesting. Okay.
Other than the constraints of making a 1980s made-for-TV movie.
Have nice. Have y'all played the new Battlefront 2 Ewok Hunt mode? Ewok Hunt
Oh
mode.
yeah.
No, I played the story mode and never touched it again.
I gotcha. Well, the whole premise is you're a stormtrooper and you're in the dark on Endor and you're being hunted by Ewoks. You're also you're woo, 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 woo. You're also trying to hunt the Ewoks if you can and be like the last one standing to escape the planet. But once you
these on
get
there?
killed,
No way.
once you get killed by an Ewok, you become an Ewok, and you're trying to get all the other stormtroopers. But like that game by itself, it can be pretty creepy because you
Yeah,
can't
it is.
see, you're surrounded by sound effects. But if they threw one of these guys in there, I would wet my pants. Like it would be game over. Like I would flip over the couch. So I really hope they just drop that in one day. It'd be fun.
This is the way that the indoor lore the way that the indoor lore is developed after Return of the Jedi in both the Ewoks cartoon and in both the Ewoks movies is bazonkers. And you can quote me on that. The fact that these were there the whole time and somehow they never bumped into them in Return of the Jedi is also the way these are like. I guess they're like
not
stop
everywhere.
motion or whatever in that movie. The way that these are articulated, or maybe there's an actor in a suit. It's so vivid and bizarre. Oh, they're pretty cool. So definitely making, I don't know, like maybe like the 10 spot on my list. Not the top of the list, but definitely deserve a place, at least in the honorable
Not on the
mentions.
bottom.
Not to be confused with the Gorog, which Rick talked about there, the big boss from The Force Unleashed 2. You got the Gorax from Caravan of Courage, and the Gorog, which, basically looks like a rancor with extra tusks, right?
It does.
And then we've also got the pets. Let's talk a little bit about the pets here as we wind up. We're going to end it where we began it, and that is, if you could have... we got to do this. We got to do our ranking first, don't we? Before we get on to the pets.
Oh yeah.
Before we
Top
get on to the
10.
pets. All right. How would you rank these out of the 10? Out of the 10, like who's top of the list? Maybe can we go 10 up to 1? What's the right way to do this?
Should we do top 5? Top 5.
Let's do top 5. I like that. Gives us some choices.
Okay.
Are we doing scariest or most important? What's our
we create our own criteria.
All right.
Ranker.
all right.
I'd say like what, iconic or most well developed, the scariest? What do y'all think? What's
I
your vote?
think scariest.
Or
The
it's-
scariest monsters in Star Wars
What
Legends.
about important?
I like
Scary,
important.
important.
Yeah, I like scary.
All right, so important is a sub factor. Scary is the primary factor here. The
right.
5 scariest monsters in Star Wars Legends. Can you count a rancor? I mean, are we going to count those just as movie monsters? Because they are in,
Listen,
the courtship
yeah.
of Princess Leia. The Dathomiri Force Witches ride those
Yeah,
suckers.
there's a lot of
Bane
legends.
fights them on the on
Ranker,
Lehon.
yeah. Rankers. I'm doing it too.
You think we can give rancors like an honorable mention or like an asterisk?
They're legends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So we'll give that the asterisk. So our number
Make sure
5
to say
spot.
it with the Legends dialect.
Let's
Rancor.
talk about our contenders, and then we'll put them in order of 1 to 5. So I'm going to say that I'd like to see the Gorax make bottom of the list at least.
I would say now that I know about the Torrentatex, I
Yeah,
am
Pretty cool.
those are pretty terrifying.
I'm
Put that at
terrified
the-
of those. Yeah.
Number 1 spot.
That got more more action than my recommendation for the Gorax, which got nothing but crickets. So
Gorax, pass.
That
okay.
was an honorable mention. What about the Leviathan?
Yeah.
It's definitely big
Crickets. Okay.
and definitely scary. So I think it could be like a 5. It could be like a 5.
Okay.
Salamiri. Number 2.
All right, but are they scary, or is Thrawn the scary one?
They're
Because
important.
Thrawn uses them
Yeah, they drive the
to mess
whole
people
plot.
up.
They do drive the plot.
They're the key.
And if you're a Jedi, you must be terrified the moment you realize your powers are being dampened.
How about Voxen? For even though y'all haven't all read, Star by Star yet, my description, I feel like it resonated with y'all earlier.
Yeah?
They're bioengineered by the Yuuzhan Vong, using
Yeah.
the Vornskurs
Yeah,
that
it's pretty
hunt
terrifying.
force-sensitive creatures.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna put them on the list. We got. I don't know if we showed it off earlier. We got a Voxen photo, a
That'd be
Voxen
scary.
image of. We got Alima Rar and Anakin Solo facing off against a Voxen on the Yuuzhan Vong world ship above the planet Mirkor. I think it's been 10 years since I read this.
Do we have that picture?
Okay,
Dagobah
if we
Spiders.
don't,
Oh, hey! Oh, my goodness, I found it, and it is terrifying. It's dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's-
Dinosaurs with many legs.
many legs. That's right, 8 legs.
Just to make them faster. That's
Does that
great.
make it an arachnid?
That
Freddy?
is just a full-on T-Rex in the background.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay.
Speaking
All
of
right. So
T-Rexes, what about the Balyeg?
Oh, yeah.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely
Balyeg.
deserves a spot. So far we've got Balyeg, Torrentatek. Did anybody second Ysalamari?
They're not really
Silence.
scary, but they're important.
Nobody else supported it. Freddie, sorry.
Dagobah spiders.
We got Vornsker. We got Voxen. We got Leviathan. So we need a 5th spot. We need one more to get us up to 5. Freddie says the spiders. What do we think?
Yeah, those are good. They're important, and they're scary.
I'll say
And
this.
They
I
made
showed it. I showed it to my kids earlier. All these monsters. I did not show them the Tauntaun. I showed
Oh,
them all
yeah.
the other ones.
That's
And
true.
the Dagobah spider was the only one that was so scary that my kids ran away.
Ooh. There you go.
I mean, giant spiders are always a win. That's why there's one in like every fantasy series. So I could get on board with that.
Yeah.
and they turn into trees?
Let's
Crazy.
put that one. We don't need to get into that right now. We're running out of time. The trees thing. You go to Star Wars Archives for that one. I know they did like a Mandalorian recap episode where they got into that. Okay, so we got the spiders, the Leviathan, the Voxen, the Tyrantotech, the Balyeg. What's our order out of those 5? I'm gonna say. Which one of those was our Leviathan is 5. Leviathan is like it's just a big dragon.
Voxen, number 4.
Because it's basically a bioengineered 8-legged dinosaur. Okay.
What else do we have? We've got
The spiders like a solid 3, right?
yeah, and then you could say Tyrantotech's at 2, and then Balyeg at 1.
Balyeg is the number 1. All right, I'm gonna
Ties.
vote
Boba Fett,
to
number 1.
reverse those for the Tyrantotech to be number 1.
I think Trinitech number 1, Balyeg 3 or 4, and crap, what's it called? Emily, what'd you say? Which one did you say?
Think about spiders.
Which one? The one that Jared shot down?
The Leviathan.
Yeah, the Leviathan.
Okay, there's another one. The Vorax.
Um,
Maybe that's the
Voxen?
Vorax. The Voxen, thank you. Maybe the Voxen a little higher.
A little higher.
Yeah. Maybe Voxen as 2 or 3 and Tyrantotechs as 1. I have to say that very slowly or else my stutter is going to give me nightmares.
I'm with Rick on Tyrantotech at 1. All right, so we got 2 votes.
I can get with that.
For Tyrantotech. All right, Tyrantotech is number 1. Congratulations to the Tyrantotech. We're going to send it Rick's first place trunk or treat medal in the mail.
Tyrantotech, we choose you.
Very much so. For being the number 1 scariest monster in the Star Wars expanded universe.
And the Digimon expanded universe.
Absolutely. All right, before we wrap it up tonight, we're going to end the show where we began it, back on the subject of pets. For all these fantastic creatures and monsters, we haven't even talked about, the Kowakian monkey lizards of it all. For all of the great... Yeah, we haven't even talked about these bad boys. For all of the great monsters in the Star Wars expanded universe, there's very few pets. Like folks who are just hanging out with a critter for the sake of having a companion. Shout out to Jabba the Hutt for being a good pet owner.
Whoa.
The Hutts did have a lot of pets.
Well, Salacious be... What?
He
You don't
was
think he's a pet?
He was an operative.
For sure. He's a lackey. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's like Joey the Rat in Boy Meets World. But then he's got the rancor down in the dungeon, and he's got an owner. All right, so a shout out to a couple of great expanded universe pet relationships. Talked about Murd, the bird dog, the golden retriever, with Waylon Val in Republic Commando. We talked about Vornskers. We overlooked the fact that there's 2 very iconic Vornskers in the Thrawn trilogy, and that is Talon Card has 2 pet Vornskers, Sturm and Drang, which are very cool. In a recent canon book, you've got the one that Freddie just read, the Ember, the Charhound, hanging out with
Oh yeah,
the Jedi Padawan. What's his name?
Bell.
Bell Zettifar.
Bell, yeah, Zettifar. Thank you.
Yeah,
reminds me of Murd, sort of, but a fire-breathing one.
absolutely. So there's also one more that we've at least got to give a shout out to. Any other great pets in Legends? I'm thinking about on Alana Solo in the Fate of the Jedi series. So the granddaughter of Han and Leia. Ooh, I'm struggling here with these are some Legends deep cuts. Like I said, we're getting into some D tier monsters. Alana Solo, Han and Leia's granddaughter, has a pet Nexu. This is art by Brian Rood, and I love it with every fiber of my being.
Yeah.
What?
She's a Jedi princess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With a pet Nexu.
I mean, it's really just a scary kitten. So that makes sense.
It's a very scary kitten.
It's like a big, scary kitten. They move the same, the claws.
Absolutely. So this brings up the subject. If you could have a monster, I mean, that's all pets are really. We tolerate monsters in the home of various shapes and sizes and temperaments. And if you've ever looked into the eyes of a cat, you know what I'm talking about. If you could have an expanded universe critter in your house, exactly. I'm looking at the same image, Rick, as the exact same thing. All right. If you could have a Star Wars creature as a pet, what would it be? Lead us off, Freddy.
All right, let's see. 2 pet rancors.
Yep.
And
what are their names?
Jimothy and Timothy.
Oh, there you go.
Good.
It's so good.
Emily, you're next. Emily's
would you
the
call
one that had this
Would you
first.
call Timothy Taco Tim? I hope
Taco
so.
Tim? Yeah, that's for sure. Taco Tim.
Very nice.
Taco
very
Tim,
nice.
come here.
I couldn't think of a good name, but I would for sure have a mythosaur. I mean,
Named Jimothy.
come on. Yep. Yeah.
A mythosaur. That's a good one. That wasn't even on my list. Way to
Yeah,
go,
that
Emily.
Well, because isn't it is it canon or no?
Well,
I don't know,
in
it's
Legends,
kinda
I
brought
think they talk about Boba Fett's sigil being a mythosaur skull. So
Hold on. What's the big brontosaurus that Boba Fett rides in the holiday special cartoon? Isn't that the Legends mythosaur?
Yes.
That big purple dinosaur?
Yeah.
No, I'm picturing the one that he spanks. Doesn't he spank it with his
He
rifle?
hits it. He hits it. Yeah, because it's trying to eat the Y wing, or is it the Y wing? I think it's a
Emily,
Y-wing.
are you pro spank? I can't even say it.
Should you
What would
name
you
your
do with-
mythosaur
Jared,
Spanky?
What would you do with
There's some things you
What would you do with your
can't say
mythosaur?
on a podcast.
No, listen,
And no,
there's-
I would not spank a mythosaur. What kind of question is that?
I was
I
having
want
a
that
debate with
on a T-shirt. Would you
I was
spank a
having a-
mythosaur?
I was having a debate with coworkers today about whether or not you should spank your children, as like a disciplinary thing. So I'm referencing something from earlier in my day. You didn't know that. I'm telling you now. And that
Nope.
makes it all okay.
That was very much without context and made me very much uncomfortable. No.
Your apologies in the mail.
Oh my gosh.
Moving
All
on.
right, Rick.
Who's up next?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I misunderstood the assignment, and
Oh,
so I didn't think of a monster, but a creature that I like to have as a pet would be a good old friendly Eopie that I would name Rue. So
Oh.
Well, I did conflate the question a little bit, so you're welcome.
thank you.
Also, I have not really thought of my answer, so I'm stalling for time a little bit as I think of it and try to recover from that awkward thing I just said to Emily.
You'd have a murd, no doubt.
Hey.
I
should.
definitely do like it. I am, however, a little sensitive to the strong pet smells,
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
and Murd is known for that.
Yeah.
I can imagine raising some hoojibs out in cages, near the barn.
In
You would
cages and
cage
poles.
them?
A nice
Well, I
little
mean,
rancor.
like meat hoojibs.
You would just want some
Meat hoojibs.
Yeah,
would you how do you feel about wrangling and strangling real life gizkas?
I was gonna
that on
say
your
that sounds
top
like a
list?
Gizka situation.
definitely a Gizka situation for sure. Hey, I bet you some deep fried Gizka legs would be
Deep fried.
good. I could see that. I
Uh-oh.
could see that for sure. All right.
Feed Kendaris.
And then one final question as we wrap up: If each of us was a Star Wars creature, what creature would we be? I can
Well, I
imagine.
feel like we should answer that
Hoojibs value
for
friendship.
each other.
Yeah, for each other. Like you don't get to pick your own.
Oh, okay.
We have to answer them. So let's
see.
do
this
Freddy
is a
first.
pseudoscience. I don't.
Okay.
Let's do
Okay.
Freddy first. It doesn't necessarily have to
Yeah.
be from the list. It could be a movie creature. I
I
can
was a
imagine
creature.
Freddy's like a Wookiee.
No.
Right hand man, co-pilot,
Oh no, I got it.
who is dependable and could totally rip your arm out of your socket.
Okay, hold on. We need to clarify the rules. Are we talking alien species or sentient, communicatable
That's important.
animal? Because Wookiees have a determined language, they're sentient and all that. Half of these creatures are monsters that we can't communicate with.
Level of intelligence might be a little different.
Yeah.
I was stretching a little bit, Rick, to be honest.
Well, I was
in
going to
order
say
to make it
a
fit for Freddy.
Nogri But
Okay.
Ooh,
but then I was like,
second
they're
the
also a
Nogri.
species. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
Freddy's
aren't they
a
like
Nogri.
assassins?
yeah,
Yeah.
like they're ninjas. They're basically ninjas.
Yeah.
And Freddy,
They're
that's what you
ninjas.
are. Since you totally like work for the government, and you're just saying you're an engineer as a front because
As a front.
you have abilities and special skills and all that.
Absolutely. Freddy is a Nogri. I see that for sure.
Yep, 100%.
Okay. I see Jared as a Twi'lek.
Oh.
Once again,
See the brain tails
a
twitching.
dancing girl.
I was gonna say, what are the dancing
That
skills?
was the only thing that came to mind.
So it just
Can
never
you
mind. I'm not gonna go
explain?
there.
I really have no other reason other than his ear. I could see his brain tails twitching if something
Yep.
were happening.
I can see it from here.
Yep, and yeah.
And now I really want to learn the dance that the Twi'lek does in Knights of the Old Republic. That you have to like learn with her as her dancing partner. I want to learn it tomorrow. It's a rainy day. We'll see. I bet you my daughter was enjoy doing that with me. All right, what else we got? Rick, what kind of Star Wars creature would Rick be?
I would definitely be a hut. You can go ahead and just go ahead. There you go. That's
Oh
me.
my gosh.
Rick
Okay.
the hut.
Rick,
Yep.
you would be a Kowakian monkey lizard because
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
because
Fat one.
because and I say this with knowing
Keep going.
that
Just
keep
just
know
get to
this.
it.
Now I need you to know this, Rick.
Oh,
it's
dear.
my favorite Star Wars character of all time is Salacious B. Crumb. Unironically,
Uh-huh.
I love All right, here's why. Salacious B. Crumb loves dad jokes. Really has an odd, annoying sense of humor. Bless his heart.
That's true.
Thank
That is
you.
true.
I
can
could
that
see
is-
someone
on board with
saying
that.
From the
saying
heart.
moist.
For sure. All right. And Emily, what? I am not going to guess on Emily's because I'm already in hot water with her after that last comment.
It's
Let's
Salamari.
see.
Okay, kind of shrewd and sly.
Uh-oh.
Is
Torrent
shrewd a
attack.
bad word? I didn't mean it as insulting.
It's quiet all of a sudden.
I'm not going to say a word.
All right.
What is,
I'm just going to listen.
How would you describe a Salamari? Just
Hey, I
Let's-
like to call this segment Three Men Try to Characterize Their Female Co-Host
Mansplaining
as
Star
a
Wars
monster.
beast. Yeah.
I'm a little offended I'm not a zombie tauntaun personally, but
Oh,
I
that's fair.
understand.
I would. Let's go with.
you
with
smell better
Nexu.
than that. That's why.
Nexu,
And
right?
next,
Yeah, fierce and
But-
Nexu for
But
sure.
what's the word? Graceful? I don't know.
Graceful?
Agile. You're a runner, so
for
But you
that
know what? I
went
feel like-
very different directions from an
Yeah,
Islamiri, which is basically a neck sloth. To
makes
like,
a great pet. Makes a great
Nexu.
pet.
I was
hangs
thinking
out
of
with
the powers that it's
hangs
able
out with
to
the
Oh,
Jedi
that's sweet.
princess. Is
repel
dependable.
the force.
Only cuts Padme in a strategic place
for
Right.
fashion.
yeah.
A professional beast. All right, we're moving on. Here we go.
All right.
Congratulations. I've got one more. Corey Helton. We got to do Corey.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to recommend that Dr. Corey Helton, CEO of YOUTINI.com, is a tauntaun, and here's why.
Zombie Tonkan? Tauntaun?
Just a traditional
Traditional
tauntaun.
tauntaun. Your vanilla tauntaun.
Because he gets you places. First
He
of all,
gets-
Corey
He does.
Corey gets you places. He has a vision and he sees it. He's tremendous endurance. He can weather storms and crises. And also, on the outside, you're like, this is a little intimidating. Got that goat face. Not Corey, but the tauntaun, All right, here we go. Then you slice him open.
Oh.
Warm and lovable.
This is
I love it.
Corey, I'm trying to say he
you
has a heart
got
of
way
gold.
too hard about that.
Under the surface,
Yeah.
I'm spitballing here. Under the surface,
Okay.
Corey has a heart of gold.
I was going to say Leviathan,
And
a
is
bioengineered
self-sacrificing,
serpentine
yeah.
creature.
I was gonna say Sarlacc. He's scary to look at, but he's very survivable. That's Boba Fett.
Oh, very good. Very good. Well, this
Cool.
has been a lot of fun. Let us know your favorite Star Wars monster. let us know your pets. You had any Star Wars pets or great
Yeah.
pet stories? Or, you know what? Tomorrow's Friday. It's been a long week. Throw us your pets in the... That's a weird thing to say. Throw us your pets. Throw some pictures of your pets up in the Legends Look Back Discord channel. And
Show us a
Well-
crystal snake.
show us your crystal snake. Thank you for joining us here on
Okay.
Legends Look Back. This has been a great time. Next week, we are getting into the spirit of November with American Thanksgiving right around the corner. And we want to learn what it is about Star Wars that you are most thankful for. I just said moist, Rick, on accident.
Hey, what are you moist thankful
You've ruined
for?
this. All right, we're
Man.
so close to the end here. Next week, we are going to celebrate what it is about Star Wars that we are most thankful for. Let us know your Star Wars gratitude. It can be something in the expanded universe. It can be something you love about, your favorite Star Wars podcast. It doesn't have to be YOUTINI show. We'd love to hear it. And if it's good enough, we'll put it on the air. And if it's bad enough, we'll put it on the air. And we can't wait to hear what it is that's got you thankful for the galaxy far, far away. And then in 2 weeks, we've got a big crossover event coming up alongside some of the other YOUTINI shows. I'm very excited for it. It's like Shark Week, but scruffier. It's Wookiee Week. And all I have to say about that is... That does it for this week. Thanks for joining us for Legends Look Back. Thanks to our incredible patrons for your support. We love making this show. And we're glad you are along for this wild and wacky ride. A special thank you to our Jedi High Council, Brian Dooley, Earl Q, Patrick Ortiz, and Carl Sander. And our Alliance High Command, Ashley Ingalls, Elizabeth Cloutier, Sally Eilerson, and Chris Eilerson. Remember to sub to the channel and leave us a review in your podcast platform of choice. Did I just call that a podcast
Platform. Podcast platform of choice.
If you like your thoughts right on the show, you can find our contact information down in the description below, or we're on Twitter at Legends Look Back. If you're looking to buy some of these books, the books about the zombie tauntauns or the Tarintatex or Murd, the Strill that can fly, you can go on over to youtini.com, click the Amazon link in the profile, and then after you've read it, let us know what you think and leave us a review. Remember to keep the YOUTINI fan code and be a force for positivity in the fandom. May the Force be with you.
This is a YOUTINI broadcast.